Oh, looks like people are already here. Whoops, sorry. Spending too much time cleaning up stuff. Let's pop out that chat. Let's stick it onto a bigger screen. Should do it. Hey, Margarita Doctor. Very quiet around here. Is my stream alive? Yep. Alrighty. Alex, ITC, Robin, Van der Nine, Kyle, of course, Mr. Horst, Stockholm's, Unix Psycho. How typical. Right. Just got a board cooking up there. Need to quickly stick its stuff together. Evening, Ed and Pernov, Travis. Is Margarita still here? Because you sort of jumped in before the stream even started, I think, by the looks of the timeline. Okay. Suppose I may as well clean up this heatsink while I'm at it. Or heat pipe, rather. Want to get all pedantic. I mean, that is what we do on the internet, is it not? Everybody gets hyper pedantic. Say one thing's slightly wrong and you've got a world of harpies on your back, letting you know day in, day night. Alright, that board's cooking up, so that'll be good. Okay. So 46. I'm just going to check something here. Make sure my latest flex board views built. Yep. Okay, that's good. Marvelous. Hey, Rescue. I didn't get to respond to your email before, not properly anyway. Just been one of those days. Random screw. Oh well, that can stay there. That can go there. This can go somewhere random, where it will interfere with whatever I'm doing later. But my later self can handle that. Little baggie of screws to throw in the bin. The tracking sticker to throw in the bin. Almost get to this board sooner or later. More baggies. Bin. I really probably should have done this before I started. Oh well. Hey Paul Howell. Hey RDP, you changed your avatar. Okey-doke. I've got this board here that I could have sworn I think it's had work done on before, at least I thought I had. It was a dud board and I think I did work on it. I think I can see it down there. And I went to go and use it and it's not giving me anything. Hey John White. Oh, so like if I plug it in, assuming have I got the right cord? No, I've got the right cord. You actually work now. No. 5 milliamp. So I don't know what's going on there, which is really sucks because this is one of my demo backup boards. Anyway, let's see what's going on. We'll check the volts. Hey Jose. Thank you. We've got 3V42. Yeah, we've got 3V42. We've got 1256. I mean 8.6. No, we don't have 8.6. Okay. Weird. So I guess SMC? Is that running? That's running. Cool. Okay, so there's some less than desirable work around the SMC. Is it mine? I'm not sure. The wire seems a little thick for my kind of handiwork. I can't decide whether this is me or not. Hey Nick 469. Okay, so this is a 3437. I guess I'll bring up the board view. Hey Jack. I'm trying to find that USB tester. Where does it come from? It comes from CMI Zapper. I need to put that in my... I need to put that in my product list of things. Let me see. It's called the Chipmunk USB tester. I'm just going to paste it in. There we go. Hey, warrant stamps. Hopefully Harold will be around a little bit later and yeah, talk about how good it is. I'm trying to work out what's going on here. It kind of looks like a bit of a mishmash. So bar the crystal, we've got all sorts of crap missing. So it looks like we had... Okay, so those two join together. That goes to ground. That goes to wherever. And that goes to the crystal. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of wondering, Stuart, because it's a little bit chunky for my style. But then again, maybe it was a early version. But then again, looking at that bottom part, I'm starting to doubt it. This here, that doesn't really seem like my kind of... and yeah, this wire is just a bit chunky for my style. Like I said, maybe it was something I did a year ago, I don't know. I just don't know. Certainly I've ultrasonicked it, I think. I wonder what that little... Okay, there's a trace, but where are my tweezers? Where are my good tweezers? My good, cheap, brainless black ones. I feel lost without them. Alright. Can't find them. Is this warranty? No, it's not warranty. It's just a board I pulled out of my stack. So this here is a bit of a concern, because that is actually the 24 megahertz clock, I think, or something to do with the clock. And it goes into a ball under here, and then also way over somewhere around about here. So I suppose the first thing I should do is see if that is actually connected. That'd be my first suspect, at least. Just take the cooking mat away, because it actually makes it hard to shift the boards around. There's a lot more sticking. So if you have a look at that, okay, so it's... Pardon me. Maybe I should add another window onto this view. Say a microscope. Video capture. Existing microscope. Okay, too big. We'll play around with that. Alright, at least to give you an idea of what I'm doing concurrently with the board view. Hey, Sinclair Research? Oh, Sinclair Research, there's the name. Sinclair is certainly a historically important name. Okay, so we want to check, pretty sure it's this resistor here. And, oh. Nice, let us scratch on my own board and see if that's making contact with this. Okay, we do have contact, so that's okay. Hey Ahmed, I'm Raphael. Mr. Bailey, what are you doing up? Alright, what else could be botched? One thing that catches my eye is maybe this trace here is dead. It's kind of a little bit corroded. Although it does still seem intact copper-wise. But the end of this part is just floating on that blob of whatever it is there. Southern Wonder, we do not here in Queensland of Australia. It would be ridiculous for the most of Queensland to honour such things. The sun wouldn't go down till, well, the sun wouldn't stop until about 11 o'clock at night in that case here. Oops, I killed that trace. So I'm wondering if it's even needed. Oh wait, there is a veer at the end of that, I think. Had any trouble getting sunny rolls? I haven't tried to get them for eons, so I actually wouldn't know. Okay, so that little link is definitely required, or at least I think so. Let's try again. Yep, it's required. I bet you if we put it there, we'll get the beep. Yep. Ah, dunny rolls. All sold out in the supermarket, of course. No great surprise. We've got a fair stash here anyway, just under normal circumstances. We were fortunate about 2 weeks ago we did our normal top off. So no dramas, thankfully. It's a bit crazy that the level of panic buying that goes on. I understand how it happens, but it's still crazy. Understanding it still doesn't make it right. Every time it rains around here, bread and milk goes out the door super fast. One thumbs down, jeez. Looks like my followers are on the... Looks like they're awake. Kinda makes me think they must be living in the States. It's probably Lewis. He's not a happy man about what I've done. Hey Harold. Oh well, Lewis isn't happy for the fact that he is bound to me. For as long as he keeps using my software, he's just forcibly bound to me. Has to be nice to me or try to be nice. He's trying to escape. I'm messing around with this, I shouldn't, but the imperfection kills me. Hey Nicholas Hyden. Yes, Lewis is always joking with me. Sometimes his jokes go a little bit far and they hurt my little snowflake self. And that's when he has to make apology videos for me. We're almost at 20,000 subscribers, by the way. We're at 19,810 or something like that. So we're getting close. Yeah, this really just doesn't quite feel like my work. It's similar, but it really feels like me from 2 or 3 years ago. Especially this. This is just a bit too fat and chunky. It's not my kind of thing at all. You should add a pop-up on exit. The software says the resistance is futile. Yeah. You're talking about this one here, Stuart? It is meant to be there, but the way it's been done is a bit cockney. And the fact that this is actually lead-free solder on the other end, that really does make me think it's not mine. So we had leaded solder on one end, but lead-free on the other. It doesn't seem like the sort of thing I'd do. I try to be equally poisonous to all pads. But like I said, it's not the worst job, it's just maybe not ideal. And that's why it's throwing me. And for all we know, the SMC is dead too, because I can see all the junk under it. Come on, mate. You can do it. Jeez. There you go. Wasn't so hard. I'm a little bit up close and personal at the moment with this. Should back off a bit. Give me some flux. Do more cat videos and you get a... yeah. Did you ever use CRC 555? No, I didn't. I used to see it advertised a lot. I remember in EA and ETI they would always be advertising it for... I'm pretty sure it was after liquid damage recovery. I seem to remember a cartoon of some guy crying about all his projects being destroyed from the rain or the flooding in his basement. Seems to ring a bell to me. I might just eliminate all of these 3 chips, caps and whatever in the middle and start from scratch. Great, I tried to be smart, get all 3 and end up just 1. And now to think about what I'm doing. So now, yeah, ideally I should just have one there, and then make a link there, and that's it. Why was it done the other way? That's just weird. There, one there, and then make a link. Why did I make it harder? Okay, that really mustn't have been me. Either that or I was on drugs, or not on drugs. One or the other. If you made cat videos while he was rescuing, oh man, that would actually be very hard to do emotionally. Rescuing cats is it has a very high emotional toll for myself and my wife. We do it, but it's painful. It's really painful. We lose a lot of sleep over it. We find it very hard to do, but somebody's got to do it, so yeah. Because around here, they just get abused and everything else, so we've got to get them out of the situation before it gets bad. Fire phone, thankfully it's all under control. Just people being stupid as usual. Just like whoever decided to mishmash all these bits and pieces together. These are definitely the wrong tweezers for the job. They're too delicate at the tip, and so when you're trying to hold the part against the force of the hot air, you try to push too hard and they just bend rather than holding. So where the hell are those good tweezers? Yeah, Harold, I've used 0-ohm resistors quite a lot for bridges, particularly if it's a good gap. It's certainly more secure, faster to put down. Aha, my tweezers. So yeah, I keep a fairly good stock of 0-ohm resistors for that sort of purpose. In this case, maybe that's what that was. That was the 0-ohm in there. It starts to think maybe it was me. I do have some vague recollection of doing something like that in the past. Oh wait, no, but I've got 3 parts here, not 2. The old hands are a little... oh no, there it is. The old hands are a little unstable tonight because I did a fair bit of mowing. It's some pretty hard work. Oh good, Nikki. You got some, Nick I mean. Got some donors. I'm waiting for mine as well to arrive. I ordered probably about a dozen of them. Hopefully they'll get here before I run out of things like SMCs and BIOSes. Did you try Manjaro KDE? I haven't. I'm basically stuck on Ubuntu. I like to stick with what I've got. I'm sort of past the stage of chopping and changing. I might just put a U-loop, just a loop of wire in there rather than a 0-ohm. Crikey, something's in my shit. What the hell, bro? You little mongrel. Yeah, come here. Yeah. This little... yeah, you fly away. Damn thing was getting into my shirt and it was feeling a bit trapped in there or something. And so all of a sudden it decided it was going to bite its way out. And that was through my shoulder. I wasn't really very supportive of its decision. Once I did some welding, could not solder for the next 2 days. Why was that, Harold? Was the just physically on your arms or visually? Because I know, you know, the welding flash is pretty bad if you get caught out by it. Dry humour? I don't know if that was dry humour, that was more just fear and desperation just then. Yeah, that said, yeah, my humour is probably best described as dry, so you're on the point there. Oh, come on now, what have I done? Look at this. This is about as good as my welding, Harold. In other words, I can't weld for squat. If I'm going to weld, I will make something out of the sticks that you weld with. I'll just sit there and I'll like dot it together, build it up. Something just got sucked into the fan then. I didn't want to put flux down first because it would have washed, it would have made that wire jump around too much. So that's why I wanted to just sort of dry solder it. And now when I hot air it, hopefully will just sit in nicely. Please sit in nicely, don't do something stupid. Yeah, good boy. Welding takes practice. I think there's also a certain degree of talent you have to do it. Especially considering that, you know, you got to fit that mask up and down and try not kill yourself too many times in a day. I watch Alex Steele. Now I know he's not like the best or anything like that. In fact, he's pretty comically not. But it looks like a hell of a task to try and do it, even with the top grade equipment that they seem to be sponsored by. Solder with an arc welder, accuracy by volume. Yeah, the Alex Steele guy, he's I'm trying to think what the Lincoln is the brand that is sponsoring him, I think. I was going to say Paragon, but then I realised that's their heaters that they're using for the treating. Antibacterial hand wash also doesn't... It's not as effective, that's basically what the problem is. It does work, but not as effectively. It could be because it gives people a false sense of wash. They're like, yeah, I've washed my hands, it felt like it went everywhere. Ah, come on now. Good job. This wire feels like rebar. Hey, what the? Power tools and I don't always get along either. I've got to... Excuse me for... I'm not actually flipping people off, but my middle finger up the top there It's all a little bit different because it went for a little bit of a dance in a belt sander when I was a kid. Yes sirree. That was some fun stuff. Good trip to the hospital. Nothing like a 12-year-old experiencing pethidine. They're probably worried I was going to become a drug addict after that. Now the reason why that happened is because I thought it would be smart. I took a standard household belt sander, a nice, good solid Makita belt sander, and I needed to, I was doing model aircraft, and at the time I needed some balsa wood that was 1/20th of an inch thick, but the only thing I had in stock was 1/16th of an inch thick. So I thought, hey, that's no problem, I'll take the belt sander, flip it up so that the belt's exposed, and I'll take my sheet of 1/16th and I will put it down there and sand it down to 1/20th. And of course what happened is, with all that surface area and being balsa wood, it just made direct grabbed straight away through the balsa back and then took my hand down into where the belt goes up into the rollers. And that was the fun bit. Eventually I sort of got the belt sander off me, and then I was more concerned about trying to turn the damn thing off as it was racing across the workshop floor. Yeah, priorities and all that. It's kind of like holding on to the clutch lever when you're on a motorbike and you crash. And you got to hold on to that clutch lever, mate. You can't let go of it. You can't let the engine stall. Rainy Beach, you found the USB testers? Excellent. The MD, yeah, actually maybe that should be appropriately placed finger for the down thumber. International symbol of communication. Oh yeah, that's a really shitty, whoops, I'm swearing tonight. Cut my finger with a model knife, oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, you get those fresh number 11 blades on the X-Acto. They certainly can, they can certainly wreak some havoc. Alright, that looks all dressed up and cleaned up nicely now. Probably could do with a little bit of a hot air reflow to smooth it out. Hey Andrew Hughes. Let's hope this doesn't just ruin all the work I've done. All because I want it to look a little bit prettier. Gob on some extra lipstick on those lips, make them extra fat and glossy. Oh yeah. Technicians love that kind of thing. Plenty of things will kill the virus, that's no problem at all. I always find it amusing when people go on about, hey, they found this substance kills cancer cells 10,000 more effectively than the current leading chemical that they're using for patients. And it's like, yeah, I mean, bleach kills cancer cells perfectly well, but the trouble is you want to kill the cancer cells and not the patient. I sort of forget that the patient has to survive the process as well. Who cares about the patient? We killed the cancer cells. It was a small oversight. This probably still won't work. I have a feeling the SMC is cactus, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Yeah, we're still just drawing 5 milliamp. I have a feeling that SMC is cactus, which means when I pull it and replace it, I'm probably going to ruin all my good work. That'll be a lesson for me. What am I looking for? Other side of the board. Still, it's pretty weird. It's only 4. Yep, 8.1. Yeah, I'd say replace the SMC. Well, we'll have a look at the one wire gear. Most of the one wire stuff is on here, on the daughter board, the DCM board on this model. which does make it interesting for some people. Ever see the video of a guy from somewhere in Africa that makes a welding machine out of a pail of water, 2x4 and nails because he doesn't have access? What's he doing? Using a car battery? Is he making a spot welder there or something? Car batteries make excellent spot welders. Drop a spanner across the terminals and blam, instant spot welder. And maybe if you're lucky, explosive device. I'm seeing if I've missed anything. Thanks, Travis. Hello, Mr. Costa. Hello from Brazil. Let's see, one wire. One wire. Yeah, the trace seems okay there. I wonder if there's anything wrong with the connector. That's always a possibility. Though it does look quite pristine. About the SMC reset area, I'll have a look at that too. So this is pin 19, SCS at one wire, and that seems fine. Kind of makes me think there's something jacked up around the SMC area. It's SMC reset L. It's a little grungy, but nothing bad. Any 555? No, I live a great distance from Dave Jones. Dave Jones is about, I'd say, 2,500 kilometers south of me. So there's no visitings or anything like that planned. Not that I'm at the stage where I am a worthy attendee for anything that he does. He barely knows of me. He knows I do some sort of software for Lewis. He knows I'm pretty sure he knows that it's open Boardview software and flex Boardview. But other than that, he's got a million other people to memorize before he remembers me. Everything looks all hunky-dory. Professional engineer, I'm actually recycling mine. You just use it on one side, turn it over, and then a day or two later you can just shake off the dry matter and use the other side. It's all, get double your money's worth. I'm getting the feeling this is going to be an SMC job. I do wonder if I even have an SMC. Let's check the resistance on that resistor. 100k. I think it's about right. I seem to remember it being that. 5100. Yep, 100k. AM6 skills. Yeah, he has mentioned me in the past, but yeah, I mentioned plenty of people in the past, and I don't remember who I've spoken about or who they are half the time. Hell, I've got customers that drop stuff off in the morning, and I can't remember who they are 2 hours later when they come to pick it up. Yeah. I am not a person for remembering faces. Oh, names rather. Alright. What are we going to do? No matter. Oh, well, I will show a new feature I just plugged into Flex Boardview today. As you know, there's the part find feature, which is we just fixed up a couple of days ago to make it actually work better. But one thing that's always annoyed me with the part find feature is that it'll bring up the schematic, the PDFs that are in, but then when you click on it, sure, it shows the schematic, it shows the part, what it thinks is a search hit, but it doesn't show you on the board because there's no actual there's no correlation between what PDF goes with what board. There are boards that are associated with PDFs, but there's nothing going the other way around. So I did fiddle around, and hopefully I've had some success. So like we go 10 microfarad, 10 volt, 603 size, and 600 should be fine. You watch, this isn't even going to work. Okay, so we stopped the search, so like the 4924. And now, hopefully, will this work? Yes, it did. Excellent. Okay, so now when you click on it, it will bring up the board if it can find one, and the schematic. And then from there you can go, oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for. You right click on that, and then you can check your part out. Oh, you go, no, that's it there. You try your next one, maybe you want that one. Or that one. So it just makes things quicker. So now I can quickly get the board and the schematic. The only downside is that if you want it to work properly, you really need to organize your board views and schematics so that you have an individual folder per board view and schematic. So you say like have, well, see if it's done in here. Open Apple. So like as you can see, each board has its own folder. You go into the folder, and there's basically the board file, there's the PDF file, and there's the database metadata file. And if you haven't organized like that, then this automagical system will work. And then when you're done with it, you close it, and you're still back with your old board. So it opens up a whole new Flex Boardview instance just for that purpose. Alright, now back to this. So what's the vote? We're going to go for an SMC. We're going to go for an SMC because we haven't even got green light. That's pretty sad. We don't even have a proper 3G42. I wonder if the other option is maybe an ISL. And I can't see any corrosion on this JTAG, so it's disinclined to blame that. It could be the ISL ignoring it. I mean, that's one possibility. What's the vote? What's the vote? We want an SMC, I see. Travis wants SMC first. Oh, come on. You people are just going for the hard stuff first. I've got to see if I've even got an SMC. Remember, we are running a shortage here. Big shortage. Oh, how's that board? I might stick this on for another 10 minutes. Just to drive out a little bit more moisture. SMC reset chip. Well, I don't think it'll be able to be the EFI. Warren, it's not yet in the very latest alpha. I only just did it this afternoon, so I'm still testing it to some minimal degree. What's that SMC supervisor chip we're going to have a look at? Well, alright, let's try the SMC supervisor chip. Even though it looks pretty damn good to me, we are trying to avoid having to replace the SMC, so we may do a little bit of extra legwork to get to the same place, but at least we would have eliminated those variables. I guess we're doing the whole strategic sort of trade-off type thing. Rescue reckons ice cream. Ha! Well, we got an ISL. Alright, okay, let's cut it down. What do we say? ISL? Or we'll go ISL. I actually have very few ISL failures come through here. Very few. So if this one turns out to be an ISL failure, that will be a rare treat for me. And if it's not the ISL, we'll do the SMC reset. Wait. I'm an idiot. I can actually test for the SMC reset. We'll do that first. There's no need to rip anything off. At least I can test it. Okay, reset L. Okay, well it's not in reset, so that pretty much eliminates that chip's fault. So we are getting our proper SMC reset L. Did you see Lewis's video of the T2 and the DFU? Not that I recall. Let's see if we've got... let's change the ISL. Hey, Tommy McPants. Interesting name. Let's check the resistances. It's funny when you go to replace things, you all of a sudden start to realise there's a bunch of tests you can still make. I know these aren't specifically relevant, but I'm going to test them anyway. 20 is good. 3 is good. Okay. And I see now I need to switch back to microscope. Well, the ISL gives us our G3 hot, and it should be told by the SMC to push it up to 8.6. Sometimes it just won't do that, but like I said, I'm going to put this at about a 5% chance of being at fault. I'm 95 to 100% sure it's the SMC. I'm just going to put this off to the side, and I can retrieve it on demand. And we're going to take this glorious little one and do this. Like I said, 95% chance it's this chip, 95 to 100% chance it's the SMC still. Especially that the edge bonding's missing from the SMC and I can still, see little dregs of things under it. Which one had a hole? The one I took off, the original one. Let's have a look. I didn't recall seeing a hole in it. No, I didn't see any hole in it. Oh, now I've lost my solder. There we go. And the gecko's having a laugh at me. After seeing those solder joints, it's no wonder it's having a laugh at me. What the hell's wrong with the flux? Hello, flux. Do your job. It's better. Well, the difference a bit of flux makes. It's too much lead free in that mash up in the middle. Andrew Hughes, you're quite right. Yes, it's the 50-50-90 rule. Oh, Margarita Doctor, welcome back. Or were you just hiding behind the scenes back there? So what are we saying? Someone felt that Marion, you're finding that Lewis has a condescending tone. Is that what you're saying? And we all have our viewpoints. Gonzalo, it's 139 US. It's a perpetual license. It never expires. And you get 2 years of updates. And then you can... Yeah, so basically it never runs out. It's kind of like if you have Office 2007 or whatever was the last good one. I'm not a fan of the subscription model with a lot of these programs these days. Like, once Eagle PCB changed over to subscription, I basically gave up on them. It's like a lot of us just want to own a piece of software, the end, and this is way skew. So I'm going to have to redo this a little bit. Okay, I can understand how you can get that impression, Marion. I think what you're probably picking up a lot on is his general frustration, and it comes out that way. In the tech world, I would say there are other people that are far more condescending and difficult to tolerate, myself included. I think he gets frustrated because he puts so much work into a lot of things, and he still gets so many questions lobbed at him that really the fact that he's been asked them is an insult to the efforts he's put into the industry. And so that's usually when he will tend to start getting pretty flippant at people. So, but like I said, I can understand how he can come across like that. I do agree, in terms of that you can get that impression. But at his core, I don't really consider him to be that way. But hopefully in time maybe you'll not be impacted so much by it. At least you don't get yelled at daily by him. Not like me. Alright, so this is going to be a good example of nothing's changed, I hope, maybe. I mean, as it is every day when I get up, I check my emails, I get a whole bunch of emails that I just sit there and I like go, why did you email me? Why? 5 seconds of Google, you would have had your answer, and if you can't Google that, and if you can't work out that, then you really shouldn't be in this industry. I think that's the other thing, is the industry is a bit of a gold mine, and so you get a lot of people coming in who have enough interest in it, they want to give it a go, but they're driven primarily by the fact that they see the great big fat profit margins, and they take what would otherwise be bread and butter jobs for established techs or good techs, and they seem to just butcher them. And funnily enough, these sort of people seem to have a much better marketing skill set than the rest of us, and so they get a hold of them and there's no change at all. So we're on to the SMC now. Boo. And so there's a little bit of animosity when that sort of thing happens, because it's like, well, come on, we put the effort in to do things right. But it's the same for any industry, like car mechanics and, well, basically anything that's a skill-based trade. Carbon, I haven't switched, funnily enough. I'm still on the old 4.8, I think it is, because I've got a license for it. And it still does the job. I only do 2-layer boards. Yeah, Travis, SMC was the most likely candidate, but I thought we'd have a whirl and try our luck. But it seems like that was not so lucky. We didn't even get a dim LED. We got no LED. No, I'm just worried I'm going to mess up my good work here, but I can't cry about that. That's going to be spilt milk if it happens. Just have to live with it. Anyway, basically we're getting to the start of the starvation phase in the industry, whereby there are people, the jobs are running short relative to the amount of people coming into the industry. And so that does tend to make existing people a little bit snipey. Yeah, I've seen KiCad. I've tried it a couple of times. Sort of drove me a little bit insane. I gotta admit, I'm almost thinking I might have to tolerate the subscription system, but I'm not there yet. To be fair, at least Autodesk did. This is lead-free balls, so this definitely hasn't been pulled before. I've done this the wrong way around, chaps. I'm sorry. And ladies, if there are ladies there, sorry. How rude, Paul. How rude. Hiding in the background, running a trace program on the thumbs down. Did you find out who it was, Agent Smith? Can't believe they're bringing out the Matrix 4. What happened to Matrix 2 and 3? They didn't even make those yet. The Eagle is now $60 a month. Whoa, yeah, okay, so that's a little rich for my... I mean, if you use it daily, you're probably easily going to cover that. But for the sort of things I do, it's not At least they do still offer the free version, so it's a bit like me with Open Boardview. It's like if all you're doing is the occasional board repair, then nothing wrong with Open Boardview. If you're doing it commercially, then the $139 US for Flex Boardview should be a drop in the bucket compared to what you're turning over. And if it's not, then maybe you're not in the right industry, in which case you shouldn't purchase it, in which case everybody's happy. I have to say, since I adjusted the pricing, I have had very little problem now with people buying it for the wrong reasons. So it has definitely achieved the objective I wanted. Hey, Philip Bockrand. Philip Bockrand, hey, you're South African? Yeah, Riston UK, I agree. The Matrix movies were an absolute disaster. I mean, we all wanted another one in many ways, but I don't know, they just kind of... I understand it was difficult because it was like, well, Neo is now omnipotent in effect, or at least we're to believe that. What are we going to do? Oh, let's bring in upgrades. I don't know. It all just felt very flat. German. Oh, okay. My apologies. Rescue. We're on to the SMC. Joseph King, it used to actually be $79 US and it was just too cheap. People would spontaneously buy it for all the wrong reasons, and then I would have these damned emails each morning from these people who bought it for the wrong reasons, or they assumed... It seems funny that they would end up being the people that would assume it would do the most that it couldn't do. Yeah, they'd like... Yeah, it just was very frustrating. And I'll be right back. Come on guys, I need some boards. Give me some boards, man. Oh man, you got some boards for me? You got a board, bro? Ooh, iCloud, BIOS remove. Yeah, okay. I'm kind of going to sacrifice what could be a possibly good board. Alright, here's my choices. I've got what is probably a good board with a BIOS lock problem that I can likely fix. Or I've got this horrible thing. I think for the sake of entertainment we will try this. It's funny, Joseph, that you mention it being so cheap, because no matter which way you adjust prices, there's always going to be someone who feels that you've adjusted it in the wrong direction, and they will have their full justifications as to why. So if you make it cheaper, then people such as yourself will mention the fact that that's probably going a bit cheap there, buddy. And if you go more expensive, you got the people going, it's too expensive. And at the end of the day, I'm happy with where it is for the moment. And more importantly, at the end of the day, I like going up rather than down. Because, hey, it's more profit for me. I've got to recoup my couple of years' work in it. But I think that was my ultrasonic cleaner having a bit of a spaz. Man, this edge bonding is just nasty. Shrek donkey nasty. It could have been my hacker friend Margarita. I've got this guy that feels like he can hack everything, and he's got a degree from the University of New Orleans in cyber hacking, whatever. He's got more degrees than I have got pimples on my backside. And he's constantly boasting how he's cracked Flex Boardview. And I mean, I said to him, well, yeah, if you can crack Flex Boardview, that's at least a start. But it's not like I designed it to be this super secure program. It's basically a rudimentary lock on the front door to stop the honest people, and that was about it. It's not like there's anything hyper secure about what we're doing inside Flex Boardview. Like I said, it's just to keep the honest people where they are. Anyway, he's probably getting off now, the fact that I've even spoken about him. Personally, it reminds me of like a 13-year-old who's seen too many movies like The Net and uses all the jazz words. Crikey, come on, get off. Okay, I'm going to have to take an alternate route for this because I think the edge bonding's jammed up underneath it. This is probably, I'm going to probably fire truck this chip. There we go. Now we get to see how bad this chip is. It's probably badly ruined because there's too much heat for too long. But we'll give it a go. Now, where's all my stuff? And of course tonight we're still going to continue on with the 2-ball technique. I really do like that technique, and I do wish I could remember who it was that suggested it, because I would like to thank them. And that's the other thing that annoys me a lot with so many industries and people, is that when people make suggestions on a technique you should try or something like that, so many times it's I wouldn't say a poison chalice, but it comes with strings attached. There's no, the whole altruism or for the greater benefit or anything like that is very much left on the wayside. And should you happen to take on someone's technique, they will hound you forever if they're the kind of person about it. Or they'll say, you don't appropriately attribute me for this or whatever. And so you become very much like a smoke machine. Well, yeah. You become very wary of people sending you things, making suggestions, anything like that. Because you're wondering, is this a bit of an entrapment situation I'm about to get into? Six-cylinder Camry maintenance is more. What? There's a 6-cylinder Camry? I thought they were all 4 cylinders. Huh. Is that a V6 or an inline 6? But anyway, when this 2-ball technique was presented to me, I felt like it was an actual genuine, like, hey, why don't you try this? And it wasn't laden with some sort of trap that I would ever be forever afterwards paying for it. V6, okay. The car I've got at the moment is an inline 6, 4.0 litre. It's what we call a Barra engine. which means they've crammed fish from the river called barramundi, which are really feisty little suckers, and they've packed them into the engine, and we've got to keep them fed on fish food and brackish water. But yeah, they really haul when you put your foot down on them. Actually, the problem with a four ball technique is that you actually will run into an alignment issue potentially. Potentially, not saying you will. I'm just saying potentially you could. At least with two, it's kind of like you can always draw a straight line between 2 points, but you're not guaranteed to be able to draw a straight line between 4 points. I know, I'm being pedantic there, but, well, that's life. I'm not trying to diss the idea. I'm just thinking that it's probably not going to gain me that much more, and may, in fact, cause me more fun and games. Look at the last V6 I had was a Nissan, Nissan Navara Ute. It was a 3 litre V6, and that thing was ridiculously overpowered if you didn't have a load on the back. You'd need to put about, I think we need to put about 50 kilos on the rear tray just to stop it from spinning every time you put your foot down. And it was definitely one of those, what do they call them? Sleeper cars. Like you'd be out the lights and your friends would come up and they'd taunt you and go, "Ah, look, you're in a stupid utility vehicle, a ute." And they'd have their great big V8 352s or whatever, and then you just smoke them off the line because the ute would just be so light and so powerful for what it is. Anyway, silly car stuff. Ah, Vegemite, I didn't know that they would produce the Camry in the V6 version here in Australia. I always thought they were all V4, just 4 cylinders. Shows how much I know about current cars. But of course the 6s are falling out of favour now because of high registration costs and things like that. What do you think about the Toyota Hilux D4D? Don't know anything about that one. I really don't know much about cars. I can fix them, but I don't know much about them. It's kind of like, if you put it in baseball terms, I can play baseball, but if you ask me what the stats were for Jimmy Freddy or whatever his name is, whoever he is, on 1966 or anything like that, then I'm completely clueless. Goes between the cam lobe and the valve. Modern ones are adjustable oil pressure instead of manual hydraulic lifters. Oh, noisy on startup, yeah. So basically you've got to wait for the oil to get into the lifters so that they don't smack the valves around. That's okay, it's all going away anyway with the electric vehicles. I saw my first Tesla 3 the other day. I wanted to crash into it just so I could steal it. Shh, Vegemite, don't tell anyone I've got paper towel. I'll be running their backsides over here to get wiped. I wonder if I put all this into a metal tray. You know Worried about the solder balls going everywhere. I'm sure I got a metal tray around here somewhere. I think it was catchment tray for my pizza oven. Where are you, tray? Oh, there. Maybe I'll use the bottom of a MacBook, but nah. A tray would do the job better. Aha. We have found the tray. Okay. Nice and loud. Nice and bright. Alrighty. If there was one car I would love to have in original form and not bastardized by the idiots that try to sort of hot up cars all the time, that would be the Nissan 300 ZX. That was a beautiful car. And these days, fat luck trying to find one that hasn't been ruined by some idiot. Someone going, oh, I'm going to stick a flippin' big fat exhaust on this. It's going to be louder and I'm going to go faster. It's like, you idiot. I mean, fine. They can do that if they want, but it just offends me so much to see such a beautiful car ruined by such actions. If you want to do that, go get yourself a Subaru Impreza or something. But the 300 ZX, come on, that was a beautiful car. Didn't need to be treated like that. Anyway, so I haven't yet been able to find one that's in immaculate condition. Cornerball technique was provided by Gonzalo. Oh, excellent, thank you. Wow, Joseph, that was awesome for you to go dig that up for me. Thank you very much. Joseph deserves some mods for that. Almost clicked the wrong thing. It's bad that hide user on this channel and add moderator are actually right next to each other on the list. That's bad. That's probably how Lewis accidentally eliminates a lot of people. You know, you get these people saying, why did you ban me, Lewis? I thought we were getting along just great. And it's like, maybe he did think he was adding you as a mod and he slipped. Kind of like when you get caught with the wrong person in the bedroom. I just slipped. Yes, Gonzalo, I'm using your technique. I love it. It's a very nice technique. It saves me using tape. It's great. That's about all I can say about it. Yeah, I'll start repeating myself. It's great. This will be my third or fourth time now. You want to know if there's a board view for the 2336 Mac Pro Dual? Sharp, I think someone did have a whole series of the earlier boards like that. I'll have to dig around, see if I can find them. I do recall seeing something like that, a whole series of earlier boards that weren't in the large collection that currently is being shared around. Daily is a Nissan Cube Gen 3. I don't know the Nissan Cube Gen 3. Okay, I'll have to look that up now. Or he says he's making them a mod and then does it on purpose. Quite possibly. Alright. Let's try and spill some balls in here and not make a mess too much. I really need to make, say, a tray that sort of cups around. Yeah, this is the tricky bit. Now, this is where I got to learn a little bit more finesse. Because if you touch that stencil, but mostly because the stencil is actually buckled. If you didn't have a buckled stencil, this wouldn't be a problem, really. Alrighty. See if we can gently brush the bastards off. No. Throw that away, that's no good. I could try shake it, but I have a feeling that will just end up making things worse. Ooh. There's one that needs to go in a hole. I took that one from its hole. I'm aiming for the balls that are outside the hole, but for some reason I keep hitting the ones going right past it and going inside the... Yeah. Okay, we're good. Now we can do the deform process. Fold a piece of paper. Yeah, suppose I could. Where's the fun of people making practical suggestions? What sort of bollocks is that? It's almost as bad as believing facts. Okay, let's get our flux down. Oh, that flux is a little hot. Funny thing is, once you put the flux down, you lose that sort of magical electrostatic type connection. And you can't... See, I can pick up the... Okay, that's good. Alright, let's try it now. Meanwhile, the chat goes on about car names. Who can blame them? I'm doing 10 litres per minute air here, so very little. Do not get in there, you little scurvy piece of ball. Okay, looks like they've all... We've got one in the middle here that's playing silly buggers. One up the top there too. A couple actually. I don't normally have this much grief. The hell? Somehow I lost a ball there. Alright, we'll try to take that off and see how we are. Your little RO. Kind of waited a bit long to get this separated. Alright, looks like they're still all there. So this one here is causing trouble. See how it's... I don't know if it shows up on the captured image, but it's standing just a wee bit proud, which makes me think it's not actually bonded down. Or at least not well enough. So we'll go back over it again. I don't trust you, little ball. But I should, I guess. Oh well. Nick469, just because I want to. That's really what it comes down to. I've done paste plenty of times before, and I'm just sort of lately in the mood to use balls instead. So some days I like vanilla ice cream, some days I want something else. And this technique is making it even easier for me. Especially once I get it a little more practice perhaps. But even at this point I'm feeling it's quite effective. Yeah, let's get a little bit of real flux down. I'll do. Hey Soldering. Hey Wayne Taylor. Man, I really haven't been watching things. Are your real friends also in tech? Not really. I guess it doesn't help that I don't really have many real friends. And that's a personal choice thing. I have my wife. She's definitely not into tech. Other than stealing all the good things that I repair. Like, I repair a MacBook and she's like, ooh, I'll take that MacBook. iPhone 6s Plus, ooh, I'll take that. So yeah, good friend, that one. But no, as a general rule, I think the last time that I had a friend come around here was perhaps maybe 12 years ago now. SMC orientation should be fine. The dot's pointing towards the Wi-Fi grooves. Yeah, I'd say it'd be about 12 years since I've had like an old friend come around. I do have some people that I'm friendly with and that I don't mind talking to. And usually they're people who know that I really don't take to visitors much. It's nothing personal against people, well, I guess it is, but there's so many things that I need to get done, or I want my own personal rest, and I can't do that with people visiting. And I've probably been that way most of my life. I remember being highly offended when I had to attend preschool. It was getting in the way of me analysing the texture of my mud pies Come on, SMC, we're gonna play this game. We're gonna dance. Yeah, you wanna dance. You're getting a bit shy right now because you've hit the board and you've gotten cold feet. It's okay, we'll warm you back up. I hope. Have you locked yourself in? Yeah, you've locked in. There you go. That took a while. Whew. Need any old stock? Oh god, no. Thank you for the offer, Solaris, but no, definitely not for those. Yeah, Wayne, exactly. Yeah, people dropping around annoy the hell out of me. Fixing an Intel 486 now. Which 486? The SX25s, those horrible things, or the DX33s? Hey, amazingly, my wire mods here have actually survived. I'm impressed. I really thought they were going to get ruined by the hot air and everything else. But they seem to have survived. So that makes me a happy man. Cyrix 586120 socket 3. Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, Solder Bridge, I'm the same. I'll remember the devices that I fixed, but do not remember the people. Rightio. It's probably a little bit warm still. Is that? Yeah, a bit of edge bonding. Like I said, it's nothing personal against individuals, and I think that's half of the frustration is that when you try to tell people that you really just don't want people around, people get offended and they're like, why don't you like me? It's like, it's not that I don't like you, it's just that I like my time to myself and I have a very limited amount of that, and I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm already almost 50 and I've only got a few more years, 30 or 40 years left to do the things I want. You're wasting my time. And it's, yeah, obviously I'm on chat here, or yeah, I'm doing live streaming, and that's fine by me, mostly because if I change my mind, I can just click a button and I'm gone. And no one can say, no, you gotta sit around here, you gotta make sure you give your Auntie Jill a proper hug before you go, and yeah, to hell with that. And it's not that I don't have social etiquette. In fact, it's probably quite the opposite, is that I'm well aware of social etiquette and the fact that, you know, what you got to do and all that sort of stuff. I'm quite perfectly good socially. I just don't want to do it. I find it a considerable waste of time. And since leaving school, or finishing school, and I got a job and made my own way in life, then I feel if this is the way I want to do it, and this is the way I'm doing it. So, yeah. Stuart Menzies. Hugs weren't big in your family. Lots of fighting more than hug. Aha, right. I used to go raves and fun nights, quit all that in 2002. Similar enough for me and Arnold. When I was over in South Africa, I was going out pretty much every night. Always something to do, always somewhere to go, that sort of thing. But since coming back to Australia, I'm like, nah, I wore that one out of my system. I'm now happy to just get back to doing the things I love. Well, this is the thing I love now. Now, after all that waffling on, let us see if we actually have a functioning system or not. Crap. What did we miss? What have we missed? What is going on here? We're still at 5 milliamps? Seriously? I can't believe that. We're missing something big here. $5 million. What? I've got the right lead. 5 amp. And now it boots. And now it doesn't. Oh, it's 3437, so it's going to do this. Maybe my MagSafe was jacked up by the power supply the whole time. Ah, it's working. I wonder if my MagSafe was jacked up by the power supply somehow, and this whole time we repaired a board that didn't need repairing. Yeah, oh well. Was pausing for effect, very dramatic effect there. Ah. Yeah, that sounded a bit Bruce Lee-ish. Okay, let's try a genuine MagSafe board. Genuine MagSafe cable adapter. Oh, you're MagSafe 1. You're no good to me. You're about as useful as... Yeah, you're just not useful, okay? Alright, it seems I do not have a genuine MagSafe 2 power brick in the workshop. I've taken them all out into the reception area so that I can show people that their MacBooks work. Oh, well. Well, let's plug it in again just to be sure. Oh my goodness. Well, that was SMC practice, folks. Yay, SMC practice. Oh well. It's all good and fun. So we've turned it off again. We'll give it a few seconds. I'm really genuinely thinking that the controller in here got upset by something. And that's why... Because I've never seen 5 milliamp, that sort of scenario before. And yet it was putting power through. It's very strange. So for whatever reason, it was happy to negotiate the higher voltage, but it wasn't happy to actually give that... Yeah, I don't know. I'm very confused now. I'm happy it works, but I am confused. Well, we'll stick it into a machine and see if it boots. Maybe the SMC was cooling down. Maybe. I'm slightly not going for that on the grounds of the fact that it was an identical failure. Like it was again 5 milliamp, no green light. Yeah, man. What am I doing trying to clean up that sort of awful flux mess? Well, on the upside, we transferred the SMC off that board that had the drill hole right next to where the SMC was. So consider it this, that we tested the SMC, it's obviously working. There, we didn't have to sacrifice one from the known good board. That just has a bad BIOS lock. Okay, we've got a good screen on this one? Yes, we do. This is one of my Dodgy Brothers board. We need a heatsink. Heatsink. Let's pick a random one from my pile. Get my 1466 box. Where did that go? Oh, there it is. Nick's probably quite true about that. It's a bit like software programming, isn't it? It's like when it doesn't work, you sit there and you go, I don't know why my code isn't working. And when it does work, you go, I don't know why my code is working. Yeah. Bewilderment from start to finish is probably an appropriate statement. given that we're testing, it might seem silly that I bothered to put all 4 screws into the heatsink. But the reason being is that if I'm going to be using this soon as a replacement board, then I may as well have all the screws dedicated for it already. Saves me tracking them down later. Okay, that's a donor board. It needs to go back to the donor board bin. One thing I'm a little bit concerned about is I haven't been able to find my MRI USB stick for a few weeks. I'm fairly sure I've got a clone of it on my server, but I just don't know what I've done with the stick. It's like I need to have everything on lanyards or something permanently attached to the back of my head. Keyfola, we've just done fixing for no good reason, perhaps a 1466 that we thought we had an SMC issue because we had no green light and we were only getting 5 milliamp draw. It turns out it might have just been a dodgy MagSafe connector, or at least in a strange lock-up state. Okay, here we go, green 600. And I only found that out because I thought I would reset the power supply just to see what would happen. And that's when all of a sudden it appeared. We'll plug in High Sierra, I think this is. Let's see what happens. Bunnings lanyard. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Bunnings and I shouldn't blame Bunnings for this, but I'm not happy at the moment. I wanted to buy, for like 6 months now, I've been eyeing off the Victor 82 volt mower and whippersnipper range, and finally I've come into a small amount of money that I can use for the purpose of this sort of thing. And what's this? Can I share part of the video on my channel? Show. Gonzalo, sure. I mean, yeah, take a snippet of this video, share it on your channel, I don't mind. So yeah, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go and buy these Victor 82 volt whippersnipper and mower, and get the pack set up and everything. I was happy with the specifications. The whippersnipper took up to 3 mil line and it had an 800 watt motor. It was looking like a good electric package. And then I go to get it from Bunnings and it's not on their site anymore. It just disappeared last week, like a couple of days ago. And it seems like what happened is there was a recall on the batteries for these contraptions, the 82 volt Briggs & Stratton battery, and so they had to withdraw all the units from their shelves. So I'm ready to buy and now I can't even get it. It's very frustrating. Oh good, I'm booting, yeah. But then now the paranoid side of my brain goes, maybe it's the universe trying to tell you that you shouldn't be buying this one. And it's like, oh, here we go. Hey Stray77. Yeah, it's taking a while. I should get there though. But I do really want to get the the 82 volt Victor ones because yeah, the other brands have like the 56 volt maybe or 52 volt, but the 82 volt is really good because it means that they don't need so many amps going through the wiring, and it's just a better option. It means they can draw more power out as well if they want. Half an acre of battery mower and whippersnipper, not a good option. Wayne, fortunately, I was going to get 2 mowers, and using the 4 amp hour packs, they'll give me 50 minutes a piece, and that's pretty much my limit for the day anyway. When it comes to mowing this place, I basically do it over a course of 3 days. Air has issues with the sensor. It could be... it could just need a pram reset or something like that. It may not be a sensor issue. Then again, this is a 3437. I should be able to run ASD on it. Do I have... Yeah, why am I running this when I can run ASD? Ray Goodlet, thank you. No, thank you very much. For £10. I have had this happen before on other 1466s. And yeah, pram reset sometimes fixes it up. God damn, where's... I need to buy a box of 10 or more SATA to USB adapters. I usually buy quite a few of them, but lately for data recovery jobs I've been sending people... I basically put people's data onto a solid state and then I just, supply them with the adapter. It's an easier way of doing it rather than using USB sticks. Okay, Ray, thank you. See you when you get back next time. So yeah, I'm not sure how long it'll be before Victor brings back the Briggs & Stratton 82 volt packs. Maybe they were catching on fire or something like that. The 82 volts does present a little bit more of a technical challenge, and the switching circuitry would have to be different too. They probably have to be using IGBTs to do the switching, because most MOSFETs most MOSFETs usually die at 30 volt drain source, and you can get some up to about 60 volts, but yeah. And usually by then it's getting viable to switch over to the IGBTs, whereas with the 18 volt and 36 volt packs they can get away with using MOSFETs for do their switching on the brush motors. Alright, so that seems to be running fine. I might wander up to the other office. Yeah. No, I don't think I will actually. It's a bit of a trek in the dark. 4-stroke Honda mower whippersnipper. Wayne, I've got the... well, I'm actually replacing my Honda 425U whippersnipper. And it's been a great machine for the last 10, 12 years or whatever. But it's finally sort of reached the end of its life, and I'm happy to switch over to the electric now. May universal boot USB, Windows, Mac and Linux. All I have to do is replace ISO for updates. Yeah, well, these are similar enough. Anyway, it's working. I'm happy enough with that. I don't have any battery details. That's the other thing maybe it's not happy about, having the battery missing. But the board works. And that, at the end of the day, is what matters. Shut down. And let's see. Given that it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, I think it's probably time for me to put an end to this show. A show where we did absolutely nothing productive other than to pretend that something was broken because we didn't check things properly. Jai Sharp, how can I contact you for the board view of the dual CPU? You can just email me. It's on my website, my email address. If I go electric, go Makita 2x18s. I had a look at the Makita 2x18 whippersnipper, the 5 amp packs you're talking about. I'm sort of umming and ahhing. I'm still more leaning towards the 82 volt system, particularly because I want to get the 18 inch mower and the 21 inch mower. So that's how my personal preference is going. Alright, that's it. Alright, I'm out of here. So thank you very much for jumping in. Thank you everyone who made the contributions. I really as always appreciate that. And glad you didn't all abandon me because I basically ran us around in circles for no good reason. But hey, at least we got some more SMC practice. That can't hurt, can it? Much? Maybe. As usual, I'd be very happy if you all subscribe. That always helps my numbers go up. I'm almost at 20,000, so you never know, you might become number 20,000. Or you might become 19,976, you just don't know. But all numbers are equally good, so don't feel like you're being judged by the fact that you weren't 20,000. Okay, I'll see you all later. You'll take care. Catch you next time.